Hey everybody, this is not going to be a 20-minute session like last night because quite frankly I got a lot of snow to clean up, but wanted to give you a quick update as things have obviously busted way high. Sorry about that to an extent, except for you snow lovers out there, I know you're always happy when my forecasts are too low. I went to bed last night at about 11:30, 11:45. We had started snowing, and it looked like the heavy band was going to make its way here, but I was a little nervous still that how far north exactly it was going to be. And so when I woke up at about 4:30, and I could not believe how much snow had fallen already. And the band is just absolutely incredible in terms of how much snow we've already gotten, and we still have a long ways to go. So I measured 17 and a half inches of snow at my house at 5:45 before I walked over to the church where I do my live broadcasts from. And we already had 17 and a half inches of snow. First of all, that was in an hour we had gotten 5 inches of snow. That's about as hard as it is as the atmosphere is physically capable of it snowing. Pretty close. You hear random reports of 6 to 7 inches of snow in an hour, but 5 is this is about as hard as it can snow. And the reason it's doing that, several reasons, and we're going to look at a bunch of radar here in a minute, but the reason it's doing that is because it's very, very, very cold still. I had 14 degrees at my house this morning, so that makes the snow incredibly fluffy, and we are just dumping moisture on top of that. And so the snow is very fluffy. There's a huge fluff factor, but it's coming down incredibly hard. So let's take a look at there. I have a bunch of radars here that I want to start with there, and then we're going to talk about additional totals and things like that. I'm actually going to get myself out of the way here so that you can see what's going on. I'll use the whiteboard to kind of circle. This band with the yellow here, which kind of parked right over where I live in southern Vermont, although the band around it is still heavy, is where those incredible snowfall rates of 4 to 5. I'm sure some places in here got 6, 7 inches of snow in an hour here, which is just, like I said, this is like lake effect snow, except not from a lake, right? You hear these crazy stories of places on off the lakes that get thunder snow and things like that. I have not heard any thunder. Would not be surprised if a bunch of people in this band here heard thunder last night and got thunder snow. Like I said, 5 inches of snow in an hour. The band is not really moving that much. It is weakening a little bit. I think we're probably not going to see quite the repeat of what we saw from 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning again, but we could still easily see 2 to 3, maybe even 4 inches of snow an hour for the next few hours. And if you're like me, you've already got almost 8, you almost got a foot and a half of snow already. We're looking at lots of people getting 20 to 30 inches of snow, some places maybe even 3 feet of snow. You do see that here in far southern Vermont, where I thought the band might set up. It seemed like there was going to be this band. I did not think it was going to be this crazy strong, but I thought the band would set up. I thought it would set up maybe 30, 40 miles further south than it did. Which would have meant that southern Vermont maybe got into the big, huge snow totals. And southern Vermont's still going to get plenty of snow. We're going to look at snow totals in a second. We'll see they're still going to get plenty of snow. But by it moving north the way that it did, it means that for almost all of our 4 southern counties here, we're going to see lots of snow. Maybe far northern Rutland, far northern Windsor aren't going to get quite into the heaviest of snow. Let's take a look on a different radar here. You can see here, let me put this in motion for you. You can see here, I'm just going to use my cursor to kind of point this out. You can see that the band never really got much north of Rutland. That's not to say it's not snowing hard there. We're probably still going to see close to a foot of snow all the way up, probably to Middlebury. Maybe not quite a foot of snow in Middlebury, but where this band kind of cuts here, so right through Rutland and south, any point south of that, 18 inches easy. A lot of places well over 2 feet. And some of the places kind of in the center here where the band is kind of stuck. So I live right here. I'm actually on the southern end of the band right now, so just north of me. And places like that easily going to get probably 25 to 30, maybe 35 inches of snow in some of those spots. Just absolutely incredible. You can see, I want to show you like a longer range of what happened. Let me get rid of my squiggle there, and let me zoom in on this a little bit so you can see it better. Over so you can see. and put this in motion because this, maybe, how do I put this in motion? Sorry about that. This is what happens when you go live here. Let's try to just reload it. Here we go. Okay. So, and let me get rid of my squiggle. So, and then I'll add some stuff. So you can see what happened here with the storm. We'll go back to the cursor view. When we got going, of course now it's going to stop moving on me. We got going, and we had the band kind of got to here, and then it stopped, and then we keep pinwheeling additional bands into the storm, but that northern fringe is kind of stuck where it is, and so that just kind of leaves that area where the heaviest snow is going to be. And so in this, we see when it's, when we're not quite in the bright areas there, we're in like that 2 to 3, 4 inches of snow an hour. That's still incredibly heavy snow. But then you get into this bright band and it's 4 to 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow an hour, which is just kind of off the charts crazy. That, I think, it does look like as the storm is going to start to pull away here, let me come back and I'll kind of draw that on. As the storm starts to, that's too far north, but as the storm, which is still still way down here, as it starts to pull out, it'll be a straight line. I can't draw with a computer. The back end of this will start to collapse a little bit. You can already see that. You can see that the radar echoes back here over the far northwestern part are starting to ease up a little bit. And the radar, the band probably actually won't move much. It'll eventually start to kind of slide east, but it'll also dissipate. And so that's why I think, these for the next 3 hours or so, we're still going to see heavy snow, but it will not be quite the extreme heavy snow that we saw earlier. I can't believe I'm saying that it's not extreme heavy snow, even though I think we could easily get 3 or 4 inches of snow an hour. That's just bananas. But there you go. I wanted to show you one other thing here. Oops, let me get rid of this. Is snowfall totals already. So in southern Vermont, we've been looking at, and some of these are a little bit old. Probably the most recent one is Chester at about 6 a.m. There was 17 inches. There was a report of 17 inches there. You can see that the numbers aren't all quite as huge. So we've got Mount Holly. This is at 4:40 in the morning, so they've probably gotten 10 inches of snow since then. So I wouldn't be surprised if they had 17 inches of snow already there. But at 4:40, they still only had about 7 inches, whereas I had about 12 inches at my house at that point. Over here in Poultney, 8 inches, which is pretty impressive total actually for them already. And that was at 6 o'clock. So they're not going to get the 2 feet probably in Poultney. But a place like, and certainly up here in like Sudbury, as well as we get to the far northern part of Rutland County, not quite as much snow, but I still think even Rutland, I think, gets close to 20 inches of snow. The far southern Vermont did not quite get into as much snow either. So places like, this is Wilmington. This is at 5:30, 11 inches, and they're not under that super heavy band, so they're only talking a couple inches an hour. They probably get like 18 inches, probably 18 to 20 inches in Wilmington. Bennington, same kind of thing. Maybe approaching 2 feet in Bennington, if I had to guess. I think the jackpot winner here is going to be kind of just north of Route 9 to about Mount Holly or so, kind of in a mostly kind of northeast to southeast line. So in a line that kind of goes here, let me pull over. I'll try to, in a line that kind of goes something like this across the state. Maybe a little further south with that second line, maybe more like down here. But anywhere in there, in that line there, we're looking at easily 2 feet plus, some places probably 3 feet of snow. Just incredible. Jamaica has a foot so far. That's interesting. Only a foot down there. So that is interesting. Maybe I was right to draw that line, the second line where I did. We might just be on the very far southern end of that real heavy band here where I am in South London area, because that's a pretty big difference. 17. I'm probably pushing 20 inches at my house already. So interesting. So anyways, huge snow totals. It basically is what we're looking at, in case you were wondering. Surface map just to kind of show you where. See, the low pressure system here is basically right over just southeast of New York City, and it is sort of going to head out east at this point. And so, like I said, that snow shield that's back here will start to dissipate, and it will also eventually move east. Let's go back to storm highlights just so that people can see, and then I'll probably wrap this up so I can go home and do some shoveling. Plenty cold enough for all snow. That probably could have removed that. It's super cold out there. Oh, this is last night's. That's the problem. Let me pop up the new the new one. That's the problem. I was like, that looks like yesterday's. Give me 1 second here, and I'll pop that up for you. All right. All forecasts bust high. Most of us are looking at 2+ feet of snow now. The extreme band is breaking up a bit, so instead of 4 to 5 inches of snow an hour, we slow down to about 2 to 3 inches an hour. Travel this morning, basically impossible unless you've got a pickup truck. Mostly just because your cars are going to just... there was one lane on my road, which is it's a town road, but a relatively main road in Londonderry. They had plowed through once. My wife just said they came through again. But there was a spot where there was like 6 or 7 inches of snow where the plow had already come through once, and then the rest of the road was just, 1.5 foot of snow. So travel will be basically impossible unless you got a pickup truck or something that sits way off the ground. Travel will get better. It'll get reasonably, it'll still be bad, but reasonable by late morning, and then it'll start to get much better by the evening, I would say. Roads will be snow packed probably till through this evening. Heaviest snow ends by 10 a.m., lighter snow till noon or just after. Total accumulations for most of us, 20 to 30 inches. Like I said, unless you're in far southern Vermont, where maybe only 18 inches, still big snow. Like Brattleboro seems like they're maybe going to get, not quite get to 20, but maybe. And then places north of Rutland, in kind of a line east-west, Rutland to like Heartland. And places north of that probably only in like the 14 to 18 inch range. But the rest of us, 20 to 30 inches. Like I said, I would not be surprised at all to see 3 feet of snow. I would not be surprised for a lot of the ski areas to get 3 feet of snow. I could see Stratton getting 3 feet, Bromley, Magic. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Okemo get 3 feet of snow or close to 3 feet of snow. I think if you get to Killington, you're down to maybe probably 2 feet in Killington. So still incredible, maybe 30 inches, who knows. At this point, it's all, Mount Snow maybe a little bit less as well, although still probably 25 to 30 inches of snow there. Maybe not quite 35, but... one last thing with the snow reports. Let me go back to that because I did want to do that one more time. There are places in this band further west of us, in New York, upstate New York, that got 40 inches of snow, and in the upper 30s. Lots of places down here in southern and southwestern New York. That's the same band that was headed in our direction. So to think that we might get some totals like that, not impossible at this point. And it's still snowing down here. They're going to get 4 feet of snow in a couple places there, which is just mind-boggling. Okay, that's enough rambling. I got to go do some shoveling. I'm sure you do too. Try to enjoy the day. Hopefully you don't have to go anywhere. And if you get a chance to ski, probably almost impossible to get to the mountain today. But tomorrow, this is like the perfect powder, and it will be around for a while. It'll settle, so we won't still have 30 inches of snow on the ground, but it will still be. We'll have tons of snow, and this should definitely help us with this. Help the skiing just be incredible through Christmas week. So if you're here and you get a chance to get out on the mountain, I hope you enjoy it.